Well, I'm no doctor, but your physical condition is fine, just a few bumps and scratches. As far as your inner body ley lines, you should be able to use magic like normally, although I'm not entirely sure how your mental state is. You woke up screaming like a banshee something about Alice, me, and Wonderland. Why am I in your head anyways? That's a question for another day, actually. Let's leave that there for now. Because unfortunately, while you were away resting and going off into dreamland, I had to do some things to get us out of the Amazon situation, and now I'm not sure where we are. But I do have some good news. While I was tending to you while you were resting, I learned that your body really isn't normal. Let's make this simple. Your body is like a soulless vessel, but also a lump of clay. Whenever a soul takes prime control of your body will then in turn turn into the soul's preferred form. So because you have a constantly shifting body type, your body can't really be turned into a succubus, or can it be turned into an incubus? It also explains why whenever I look at you, you have this weird stare at me as if hundreds upon hundreds of souls are trying to learn from me. This does not make you immortal. You are still very mortal. You can fall down the stairs, hit the back of your head, and die. Or, die in glorious combat like a true hero, but, sometimes mistakes happen. That does pose the question of what happens if you do get affected by monster mana, and I'm not willing to risk my beloved trainee on some weird experiment, so let us go over the potentiality of the Alp. The Alp is a fiend-type monster girl, and they belong to the family of succubus. Their habitats are unknown, their natures are various, then lustful, and their diets consist of the essence of human men. The Alp is a variant of the succubus, and a highly unusual race that has no likeness to be found among monster kind. Alps originate as an incubi, i.e. men who undergo a mutation into female monsters. Under no ordinary circumstances does a human man turn into a monster. As stated before, no male monsters currently exist. An incubus is merely a human altered in nature by monster mana. Because human men produce essence indefinitely, regardless of how powerfully a monster suffuses a man with mana, he will continue to be a human. Alps come about when an incubus wishes deep in his heart to become a woman, or to be joined with a man. The monster mana that made him an incubus is normally used to improve his production of essence, but in this case, it destroys this very function. This strips him of his ability to produce essence and empties him of it. Monster mana pervades his body, and he soon finds that he is a monster. Even after he's become an Alp, his soul, his values, his memory, and personality remain those of the man he was. Only his body has changed. Though it has become completely that of a woman, he continues to perceive himself as a man. He is unaware of the urge to become a woman which transformed his body, or perhaps he buried it deep in his heart, pretending not to realize. Thus, he is shocked by his sudden transfiguration and experiences profound dysphoria. Then, in most cases, he cannot imagine lying with a man as a monster would. The very thought repulses him. Despite this, instincts of the monster begin to sprout in his mind and body and draw him toward and tempt him with the human men he scorns. His monster instincts swell inside him, and his driving hunger for essence becomes unbearable, urging him irresistibly to seek a man. Inevitably, he submits, still bent to distraction by his loathing and desire. He attacks and copulates with a man. His first experience of fierce pleasure as a female-bodied monster, incomparable to any he might have experienced as a human man, undoes the seams of his mind and causes him to move his hips faster. When the man's essence is released in the midst of the monster's ecstasy, the first taste of the rapture of femininity and the sweet savor of essence leave his soul in shambles, telling him only that he needs more of this man, that he must have more. Over the course of further days, in which the spirit of a man and the pleasure of a monster clash in his head and torment him, he is once again driven to lie with another man. The cycle repeats until eventually, still wholly perceiving himself to be a man, he drops all resistance to the formerly detestable thought of loving another man, sexually and otherwise, and begins to proactively seek the intoxication of intercourse and the delight of essence. Alps continue to interact normally with their male friends from before, even if they have fallen deeply in love with them after repeated bouts of intercourse. They are likely to seduce and copulate with them very casually, as if inviting a friend of the same sex to participate in a recreational activity. In this process, some Alps discover greater pleasure in becoming a woman. These Alps find that their bodies continue to grow more voluptuous and enticing, and their minds continue to become more feminine. Soon enough, they have matured into full-fledged Alps, more feminine than all other women, and more or less vicious than succubi. And so that's why we're not gonna figure out what you will turn into. Because at the end of the day, we don't want another hunter being lost to the monster mana. And since our journey is going to be long from this point on, I don't know when the next time we're going to see Rex for repairs are going to be. And even if we did get repairs, my weapons are too broke to even be repaired. So Rookie, I think it's finally time that I visit an old friend of mine up on the mountain and pick up my old shields again. Because do you know how awkward it is to go up to some blacksmith and go, "Hey, I want dual-wielding shields"? Don't ask about my fighting style. I'm very defensive. Now that was an interesting monster girl now, was it? If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can even check out my other social medias using the links down below. I'll see you all soon. Good hunting, everyone.